Hello, and welcome to Virginia News. I'm Marilyn Sanchez.
And I'm Dylan Park. Today's top story, the 7 Days Battle, part of the Peninsula Campaign, has come to a close.
That's right. Confederate General Robert E. Lee has succeeded in driving off Union General George B. McClellan's planned attack on Richmond, Virginia. McClellan had planned to invade the Confederate capital of Richmond, which he believed would end the war. He, however, was not ready for the counterattack that Robert E. Lee was ready to launch in order to protect Richmond. There was a series of 6 major battles over this 7-day period, beginning on June 25, 1862, and ending on July 1st, 1862.
Yes, there was the Battle of Oak Grove on day 1, the Battle of Beaver Dam, also known as the Battle of Mechanicsville, on day 2, the Battle of Gaines Mill on the 3rd day, the Battle of Garnett's and Golding's Farm on the 3rd and 4th days, the Battle of Savage's Station on the 4th day, Battle of Glendale on the 5th day, and the Battle of Malvern Hill on the final day. For more details concerning this series of battles, we now turn to our analyst in the field, Lucas Wetch, who has been covering the story since day 1. Lucas?
Thanks, Dylan. Yes, the fighting has reached an end. Robert E. Lee has fought off the much larger army of George B. McClellan through a series of clever, yet not very well executed, attacks. In the Battle of Oak Grove, McClellan made his first and only offensive move towards Richmond. The casualties on both sides ranged in the thousands. However, McClellan was only able to advance 600 yards. In the Battle of Beaver Creek, Robert E. Lee had fully launched his counterattack. He attacked McClellan's right flank, led by John Porter, forcing him to retreat. In the Battle of Gaines Mill, Lee continued to attack Porter, eventually breaking through his defenses and forcing McClellan to retreat and abandon his plan of taking Richmond. In the Battle of Garnett's and Golding's Farm, Lee continued to send small forces to weaken the much larger force of McClellan's army. In the Battle of Savage's Station, the main body of the Union Army began to retreat. They were forced to retreat so quickly that they left supplies and a field hospital with more than 2,500 wounded. In the Battle of Glendale, Lee continued the attack and the retreating Union Army. During this battle, Lee had the opportunity to cut the army off at the James River. However, due to poor execution, McClellan had successfully set up a stronghold at Malvern Hill. In the last days of fighting, in the Battle of Malvern Hill, Lee had launched one final attack against the stronghold at Malvern Hill and was beaten terribly. In the end, Lee had lost 5,300 soldiers. McClellan withdrew to Harrison's campaign. Although McClellan was able to save his army, he was forced to abandon his original plan. Lee, however, was successful in protecting Richmond, something that is surprising, considering Lee had a much smaller army compared to that of McClellan. Back to you, Dylan.
Thanks, Lucas. Although this was a victory for the Confederacy, the death toll on both sides were staggering. For the Confederacy, there were 20,000 casualties, 3,494 killed, 15,758 wounded, and 952 either captured or missing, out of a total of over 90,000 soldiers. McClellan reported casualties of about 16,000, 1,734 killed, 8,062 wounded, and 6,053 either captured or missing, out of a total of 105,445.
Because of the victory, Confederate support has skyrocketed, while Union support has yet to show the same enthusiasm. This battle was won by the Confederacy. However, the war is far from over. The one thing we can count on for sure is the weather. And now for the weather.